Hello, everyone. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's totally free. They also have creation tools that allow you to edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. How convenient is that? Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. So, what are you waiting for? You can also make money with no minimum listenership. It's time to get started. I am King Yat, a father, an activist, and professional speaker. Through this podcast, I will share my life's journey. I openly talk about resiliency, single parenting, Black history, and my absentee father growing up. I inspire people by speaking from my own experiences with racism, academic struggles, activism, prison, mental health issues, and overcoming various other obstacles. If I can reach one person through an inspiring message, I'll say if you want success, pursue your dreams without permission. The scope of my podcast will not be limited, but will include topics surrounding American descendants of slaves. Hashtag ADOS. Let me just give you a little feedback on what we're covering today. All right. So today we have a live discussion with Mr. Eric Morrison, a pastor who sees opportunity and announces run for governor in 2020. His website is www.morrison4missouri.com. Posed with the calling to see lives change, and as a catalyst for justice and change, Eric Morrison is a proven leader whose impact and influence extends beyond socioeconomic and cultural barriers. Eric Morrison passionately serves as a respected pastor and social activist who continues to lead innovative change and provide capable leadership for over 2 decades. Morrison earned an associate degree from Western Baptist Bible College and a bachelor's degree from Heart of America Theological Seminary. Inspired with a calling to see Missouri better for all, Morrison ran for governor of Missouri in 2016. In less than 2 months, Morrison gathered over 30,000 votes. With a focused effort and a fervent mind, Morrison admitted to be a part of the solution for Missouri. As a lifelong Missourian, Eric Morrison cherishes spending time with his family. Eric and his wife, Regina, have been married over 32 years and currently reside in Kansas City, Missouri, with their 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Wow. Now, if that is not a wow factor for you, I don't know what is. I mean, this brother has been in the game for a minute, and he's about affecting positive change within not just Missouri, but throughout the entire world. So with no further ado, we are going to the phone lines, and let's see if this is Mr. Eric Morrison on the first line. You guys are listening to the King Yah podcast. Again, I am your host, and we are going to the phone line. All right, caller 2330. Mr. Morrison, is that you? Who am I speaking with? No, sir. This is caller 2330.
This is Mia.
Oh, hey, Mia. How are you? Welcome to the show. Give us just one moment. Let me get the bishop on the line.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Bishop, are you on?
Mr. King, yes, I am.
Bishop, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on. Welcome to our show. You are our honored guest. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great this morning. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful, my friend. It's a pleasure to have you this morning. Thank you for joining our show.
Yes, sir.
You have your hands full. I just want to say thank you for the work that you are doing, and your hard work is definitely paying off.
Thank you.
How are you feeling this morning, sir?
We are excited, humbled, and encouraged to continue to pursue this endeavor to making Missouri better than it is right now.
If you could just share just a little bit about yourself with our audience, we greatly appreciate that. And then I got some questions for you regarding your campaign.
Thank you, Kenya. What else I could say outside of the short bio that you read off to the listeners this morning. Other than that, just the ideal of having a great deep-seated passion for the least among us has been the story of my life, always fighting for the underdog, always wanting to see others, obtain what I believe to be, available to everybody. That's just always have been my character to just, provide for, never utilizing one person against another to improve someone else. And I say that in light of, my children. I never compared them against each other, but just in their own individual character, try to bring them up to living up to their own personal expectations. And so, just a person, I guess, to say, can you really, that will go out and fight for other people? I get a thrill. I get excited about fighting for other people to have the best in life.
And we certainly do appreciate that, Bishop, for sure. Like, it's just phenomenal to hear your story, to hear what you have accomplished so far in this short period of time. And my hat goes off to you, and I just want to say thank you for the work that you are doing. What qualifies you to run for this position with no prior political experience?
Kenya, what qualifies me? Thank you for that question, too, because when the pursuit of this position came before me, I thought aggressively about politics, but it was just one word that resonated in my heart and in my mind and my spirit, was the word servant. And when I heard another politician address themselves as a public servant, that set in my mind and in my heart and in my spirit so richly. That's because that's what I have been doing for over 20 plus years. It's just being a servant to people. And so that's what I believe right now. People really are looking for, who is that servant? And without any reservations, I believe that I am the best servant any one person could have in their life.
Well said, well said. And for your servitude, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have many hats here. As a pastor, how would you navigate overseeing the state and your church?
Thank you again, Kenya, for that question. I think that's very profound, because I've been asked that on several occasions, and the ministry in which that I'm the senior pastor, I have been given the latitude of time to develop some strong, powerful leaders that now, alongside of my own personal pastor and other senior pastors that I engage with on a regular basis, we are solidified in the place that the ministry in which I oversee will be able to continue to go strong as it's going even right now. With me being in the ministry on a regular basis versus being in the ministry periodically, just showing my face periodically as I govern the state of Missouri. There are some dynamic leaders, and again, speaking from the core of my belief, only just from the core of my belief, God has given me the opportunity to develop great leaders. And so I'm appreciative of those that have been along my side for 10 to 15 plus years and now understand the capacity of ministry and are able to do it. And as a governor, I believe that quality and that trait in me will not stop, that we will continue throughout the state, develop leaders to make sure that our state is functioning in the way that benefits all people.
Yes, sir. Definitely. And well said. Definitely well said. I mean, I think you definitely hit that nail on the head for sure.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you, sir. Mr. Morrison, I have an additional question.
Yes, sir.
Why do you want to be governor of Missouri?
Can you? Thank you. I will say this in a humorous way at first, because it's it wasn't anything that I just woke up one morning and had desired to do. You know, I didn't wake up and say, I want to be a governor of the state. That was not any of my intentions.
Okay, I was going to ask you, was that one of your dreams? Or how did you
No,
come
I
across
was.
that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Actually, I had was asked to participate in an event that allowed me opportunity to share one of my deep-seated passions for the life of people, not only children, but people, and that's education. And the organization that gave me an opportunity to present myself to the head of the organization while we were about to work together was along the lines of the suspension rate in the state of Missouri. And so we did understand that, and I do understand that it's still effective today, the school to prison pipeline. And when I saw the level of suspension that was taking place, another community organizer wanted me to participate in that effort to let's work together to prevent the suspension rate. In my presentation, there was a gentleman out of St. Louis, Missouri that was present, and I didn't know he was there. I didn't know he was from St. Louis. But after maybe a year had passed, he reached out to me and asked me if I would consider running for governor of the state of Missouri. And at that particular time, I thought he was just playing on the phone. I just really did. I thought it was some kind of a joke or something. And turns out to be it was something that was ordained, according to my core of belief, it was ordained by God for me to step out of this arena to a certain degree of just pastoring, but to step into that arena and continue to be a servant at the highest level. And so as a result of that, I have now found footing. I found myself embracing this call to be a greater vehicle and vessel for the state of Missouri.
And I can't think of no one else that's more qualified than you. With the rate of young men being incarcerated and young women and our children from the school to prison pipeline, I mean, this could not be a better time to have you in office, sir.
Thank you.
As you are aware of my personal story, at the age of 14, I was incarcerated for a crime that I did not commit. So I went from school to prison. So
yes.
You are definitely speaking my language right now, brother, and I definitely appreciate you so much. You have no idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome. For our listeners that are just now tuning in, we see the phone lines are blowing up. Please be patient with us. We'll get to you in just a few moments. We have Miss Mia on the line as well. Miss Mia will be coming to you in just a few moments. So right now, with no further ado, I know you guys are interested in knowing more about Mr. Eric Morrison, and you're anxious to hear the questions that the world has for Mr. Morrison about the impact that he will have and that he has already had in society, in the world, and in the great state of Missouri. Mr. Morrison, how will your being in office be different from the past governors?
That's a real good and legitimate question, Kenya. Let me address it from this angle, if you don't mind. My objective was, as a pastor, I'd never looked back at what the other pastors before me of this particular ministry that I minister now. We hear a lot of things that are kind of sort of clichéic, and it's in light of building up on someone else's shoulders, standing on others' shoulders. But I found out a lot of times that to a certain extent, the next individual has not really built up on another person's shoulders unless it's something that is already there that is working. So I want to